Hello truck fans, so today I picked up this Majorette Chevy Silverado. I don't really have many pickup trucks in my collection, or really trucks at all. And I thought I would just pick this up because it looked pretty nice in the blister pack, and I figured I'll do another wheel project, try to keep my 3D printer working. Anyways, the Silverado came out in the 1999 model year. It actually took the name from the top trim level from the Chevrolet CK series, and it just became its own nameplate. It's a full-size or even a medium-duty size truck, depending on the configuration. This is an extended cab or crew cab, and there are also all sorts of bed options, dualies, all that stuff. So these trucks are almost limitless in their configurations. It's also one of the most best-selling vehicles in the U.S. at least, selling out almost 12 million examples. Maybe if it's even past that mark by now. This apparently seems to be the second generation that came out in 2007 and was sold up until 2014. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, it looks the most like this Gen 2 photo I found, although I didn't find one with a black grille. So if this is a Gen 2 model, it has either a 4.3 liter V6 and then a whole bunch of larger engines that could also be up to 6.2 liter V8s and even a hybrid powertrain. So it's interesting, this packaging threw me off when I saw it at a shop because apparently I'm guessing this is like from Japan. It's a Japanese Majorette because kabaya sounds like an awful Japanese word there, and I assume this text is Japanese. It looks Japanese. So anyways, let's take a look here and open this up. So also I noticed in the blister it had this little card on the bottom. So you know the dimensions of this particular model, and it makes around 350 horsepower and a lot of torque. What's on this side and this thing seems kind of wasteful. I'm not sure why they would have this. Like, why wouldn't they just... Oh, I see. Now I understand. There's no actual marking on the backing card. So I'm guessing this card is universal to all the different trucks that they make. So actually that does make sense. And then what is this? I think this might be bubble gum. I don't know why, but the Japanese, they tend to throw in a lot of bubble gum in their toys. It's kind of like baseball cards, you used to get that rock hard piece of gum. I am not going to eat this because I have no idea how old this model is. Does this say? I don't know. I don't see anything here. No, correct? I don't know. I don't see it. Okay, so anyways, let's look at the bottom here. So this looks like the scale is 1/71 scale. So, okay, well, I guess I gotta live with it. And I guess in the real world it'll be bigger. Here's my old beater Ferrari, and at least it's bigger than that. Although in the real world, I guess this would be even much larger if this model was 1/64 scale. So at least it's bigger, and it's got bigger wheels. It looks like a truck. All right, so that's cool. All right, so let's take a look here. Let me get the camera angled down a little better. Get the pick of scrutiny out, and I was basically sold. It came in the packaging like this. I was sold on the panel lines. I mean, look at, they're really tight panel lines. I'm really impressed with the tightness of these for this kind of price range. And the printing is pretty nice there. Again, a tight gas cap line. One thing that is odd though is why is there not a panel line here, right where the bed meets the cab? That should be a lot deeper. I mean, it is like a little bit of a hint of one, but it's not as deep as that, so that's a bit weird. Okay, and then we got some painted tail lights, which are barely noticeable on this red paint, but it is there. It's not the same as this satin red. That's another reason why I bought this. I don't actually have any models with the satin paint finish, so I thought I'd try to add that here. But we're looking now, and I can see these round circles. So I'm guessing this is part of the casting process. Although I don't know why. Why would those be there in the mold? That's a bit of a mystery. Maybe this is where the ejector pins are. So it molds the metal and then some pins push it out of the mold. But that's the only thing I can guess. I'm not a mold maker or anything like that. Okay, so unfortunately the satin red doesn't get to every corner of the bed because the spray painting just can't get in there. So but for this price range, I guess it's alright. It's not an expensive model. The bow tie is pretty nice. Silverado is pretty nice. Unfortunately, the casting, it's got a lot of gouges and stuff. Right, little pock marks and stuff. Alright, so the belly pan has the rear bumper and some indication of some exhaust pipes. And then this must have suspension. I'm guessing because I can see this metal rod in here, which is trapping the axles on the inside. So I don't know. The wheel seems to hit the fender, so if there is suspension, the wheel takes up too much of it, so it's not really suspension. Okay. Alright, well anyways, let's go this side. Yeah, again, it's just a bunch of casting issues. It's not super bad, but compared to like the premium brands, it's not very good. Yeah, okay. Well, anyways, again, that red paint isn't getting in there. It would have been nice to have some black in there. I do like the texture here of that grille. It's very, very prominent, as you can hear. The bow tie is really nice again. And then it would have been nice to have some silver behind on that black plastic there, right? To just have black, it just doesn't look good, you know? It's nice to have these lenses, but they're just showing a black bucket. So maybe I'll drill it apart and add some paint there. It's only one rivet, so this grill must be grooving into the casting. So it shouldn't be too hard for me to open this up. Okay, well anyways, for some reason, all you guys asked, does it roll? Of course it rolls. It's a toy. It's not a premium brand. So yeah, that's it. Well, anyways, as usual, I'm going to pause it right here, and then we'll come back with some wheels. I have no idea if I'm going to go with stock wheels or just roll some crazy custom rims. We'll see what happens. Okay, and so I'm back with some new wheels here. I want to really take advantage of the 3D printing process, and so I have a bunch of spokes that are crossing underneath each other and stuff. So wheels like this could never actually be cast in the real world. They would only be able to be 3D printed. And now that I look at it, it kind of reminds me of the Bird's Nest Stadium that was used in the Olympics in China a long time ago. So they're pretty much the same on both sides here. So I didn't bother putting in a brake system because there's so little air passing between the spokes that you would never see them anyways. But one thing I found that, you know, after I drilled out that one casting rivet, this screw actually would fit inside the opening of it, so it's holding this thing together. And the interior piece was a separate piece of plastic. Although it was black and you couldn't see anything, I went ahead and painted it this tan color. And you can now see there's a lot of great detail here in this interior. I don't know why, like Majorette, Kyosho, Aoshima, they go through the trouble of making molded interiors and then no one can see any of it because the black plastic they use. So this is actually a great interior, pretty impressive. Last two things I did is I took a silver Sharpie and just hit it on the inside, so the headlight looks a little bit better than before. And then one of these tiny, what is it, an ultrafine point Sharpie for the little vents here in the bottom bumper. So that is it. Turns out, yeah, you know, it does have the suspension after all. That spring is holding it in place, but the wheels do bottom out against the body. So here's a little custom Silverado I found here, and kind of compare a little bit. Unfortunately, because of the suspension, you can't really bottom out this car unless you severely narrow the tires and camber them in underneath the fenders. So it's I can't get this slammed down look like in that photo. Okay, so that's really only the second normal pickup I have in my collection. The other one is this M2 Machines. But I'm not sure if this is even 1/64 scale. There's nothing indicating the scale on it. At least this one says what scale it is. But they look generally in the same ballpark, so seems alright. Okay. Well then, if you're a fan of a truck, fan of pickups, appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you later.